Hello everyone, my name's Mike, welcome to Tech Car Moon, and on this channel I talk about tech, I talk about camera gear, and I also do product reviews. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. But today I'm going to be talking about why no one cares about the Apple event that's happened in 2019. Let's jump into it. Whoa. So before we go any further, I do just want to say the products that Apple have announced are pretty cool.
Now let's talk about TV.
So we're doing something we've never done before. We're bringing the Apple TV app to smart TVs. And we're even bringing the Apple TV app to Roku and Amazon.
I mean, the one that I'm personally excited about is the Apple TV app that's going to launch on the Fire Stick as well as on the Roku. I think this is going to be a big game changer, and it's going to allow a lot more people to have access to this great app that I really enjoy.
We've done it because we love TV.
I think it'd be really interesting to see what happens to the Amazon Fire Stick with this app and how it's going to work, if the compatibility is going to be all there. Knowing Apple, I think that it's going to work really well, but we'll wait and see. We'll do a product review maybe. If you want it, let me know down below. But there are a few things that I find a little bit weird and that I think Apple are really trying to grasp at straws here and trying to really milk their customer base, because at the end of the day, we know that iPhone sales have been slowing down, and that is in part because of the whole slowdown in the marketplace for smartphones. And Apple are really trying to find new ways of getting money out their customers. And I don't have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, they are a business and they need to make money, not just for themselves, but for their shareholders. So I get that.
We're bringing magazines to Apple News. All of these magazines come to life in an all-new service that we call Apple News Plus.
Apple News Plus also includes some of the most popular premium digital subscriptions like the Skim. Apple News Plus also includes the LA Times, the Wall Street Journal. But with Apple News Plus, you pay $9.99 per month.
But Apple News, I just don't think enough people care about paying for news for this to be a big thing. I mean, we pay for a lot of music streaming services, video streaming services. I mean, we've got YouTube Premium services now that offer a bit of both. There is a lot that comes out of, well, even my account every single month. It's especially nowadays where we're getting a lot of news free. For example, I personally use the Google News app quite a lot, and that gives me bite-sized information about what's happening around me as well as around the world. Now, there are a lot of publications that do have this paywall, and there are a lot of people that do pay for it. But are people now going to move away from those? So for example, like the New York Times, and I even think the Financial Times, they all have this paywall that you've got to get through to access their content. However, now that I can pay £10 a month, let's say I was one of those paying customers, well, now I can pay £10 a month to have, what, 300 magazines? That sounds like a better deal for me, you know? That's like me switching from Blockbuster to Netflix. Of course I'm going to go for Netflix because I can just do that right at home and I've got access to everything that I want. Am I going to think the same if I was a subscriber to the Financial Times or anything like that? Am I going to switch to that platform instead, because it's going to give me a huge amount of magazines that I can basically read? Now, the flip side to that is where there may be publications that aren't generating basically enough revenue, are they going to jump onto this to generate more revenue? Because I think that's going to be a really good thing, and it could revitalize maybe some of the smaller magazines that are maybe struggling a little bit. But I just don't think enough people care about paying for news to make this another big seller for Apple. Now, that's not me being rude, it's just we all pay for a music streaming service, we all pay for a video streaming service, and then other types of services as well. But can you honestly say that you also pay for a news service as well? And will you be interested in paying for a news service? Or do you think the information that we get from, Apple News and Google News, will that be enough for us? Because for me personally, I don't think I'm really going to be jumping on this. I just don't see the added benefit in my life to be paying for something like that when I get so much value already out of free services like Google News. If you agree with me, please leave a like or a comment down below. If you don't agree with me, I think I'll be more interested in hearing your side of the story, because maybe I'm missing the point on this. But for me, when I see a lot of people with, let's say, iPhones, they're normally of the younger demographic. We've also got middle-aged demographic as well. And I just don't think that sort of demographic will want to pay £10 a month for a news service. Now, this whole Apple TV Plus thing,
to create a new service unlike anything that's been done before. Apple TV Plus.
Firstly, I think it's a rubbish name. Apple TV Plus. So I've got an Apple TV box, I've got an Apple TV app, and I've got an Apple TV Plus subscription. Come on, could you not have thought of something better than that? But aside from the name, they haven't done pricings on it, which I think is a little bit weird. And I personally haven't really been sold on this original content just yet. Am I going to be getting other content with it? I have no idea. So it'll be really interesting to see what's going to happen with that space. But I think Netflix at the moment, as well as Amazon Prime Video, they have really dominated this segment of the market. And for good reason. But I'll be keeping an eye on that anyway. And the last thing that Apple announced was this Apple credit card, which is really interesting.
Today, we're introducing a brand new service, and we call it Apple Card.
So you can see everything you need to know about your Apple Card. So every time you spend with Apple Card, you get cash back, and it's cash, like real cash. So you can do anything with it. You'll get 2% of the purchase amount in daily cash. And for purchases made directly from Apple, you get 3% daily cash. No late fees, no annual fees, no international fees, and no over-limit fees. For those rare times when you happen to be somewhere where Apple Pay is not yet accepted, the card is titanium.
I think once it starts expanding, I really will be curious to see what my friends and family do about this, because they're saying no fees and no late fees and all this stuff. It sounds like a great credit card, but am I going to give my money to Apple? I'm just not sure. But I'm going to reserve all judgment until I've actually got this and used it and see what it's like in my day-to-day life. And that goes the same for the Apple News as well as the Apple TV and Apple TV Plus. I'm going to reserve all judgment on those products. I'm not judging those products. I'm not saying they're rubbish or not. I'm just saying that for Apple to try and get more revenue, because obviously we're seeing it dip a little bit. I think it's good to see Apple trying to expand their revenue income, but I don't think this is going to be the next big thing, because I just don't see enough people buying into this. But Apple know what they're doing, so it'll be interesting to see if I'm proved wrong. Now, I didn't want this to be a rant video, and I didn't want this to be me slating Apple at all. I think these three products, or these three main products, I should say, that they have launched, I think it'll be really interesting. I think they're going to be great. Just knowing Apple, I think this is going to be a different Apple that we're seeing as well, especially when they start going into this really, really hard once it starts maturing. But for now, I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to wait and try these services out myself. Will this be enough to switch from my Android to my iPhone again? I do have both, but I use my Android way more. I think my iPhone's somewhere buried in a drawer at the moment, as well as all the other Apple products that I've got. I think by integrating all these new services, will that make me go back to using Apple products again? Maybe that's what Apple is hoping by implementing Apple TV into an Amazon Fire Stick TV. Because let's be honest, the Amazon Fire Stick TV thing is phenomenal. It's such good value for money. I think pretty much like 60 to 80% of my friends and family have got one of these plugged into the back of their TV. It'll be really interesting to see how the Apple TV works with that. Anyway, I'll leave you guys to it. Watch one of my other videos. But until then, I'll see you on the next one. Look after yourselves. Bye.